Hey guys, LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. Today guys, I got a video for you first timers who who just bought or build your first AR-15 and you're trying to figure out what accessories should I add in my AR first. So in this video, I'm going to give you my opinion, the first three accessories you should add to your AR-15 when you first buy it. Alright, so let's get into it. I want to make a disclaimer and just say this is for, alright, well, everyone can use this, but this video is mostly geared towards the civilians, not necessarily law enforcement, military, security so much, because the things y'all do and can do is different than a typical civilian. This is videos mostly for civilians. So for you civvies out there, one of the first things you're going to want to get for your AR-15 rifle is a light. Doesn't have to necessarily be this light, but it has to be a light that's reliable and is going to put out the amount of output in lumens that you need to identify your target. So this here is one I really recommend. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's see if I can get it up close on here. No, not today. Not today. Nope, not today, guys. Alright, but this is the Streamlight HLX 1000 lumen light. Comes with a little, it adapts to basically a pick rail, so you're gonna have to have some kind of pick rail on here. Even though this is a key mod rail, it's a key mod with a little pick rail so this light can sit on. But what you want to get is a good light. Doesn't necessarily have to be Streamlight. There's a whole bunch of other companies making good lights at a good price that's not gonna break the bank, so check those out, guys. But you're gonna definitely need a light because you can't shoot what you can't see, and as a civilian there are consequences to the people you shoot, even if they are criminals. So you're gonna have to be very aware and cognizant of the fact that when you shoot somebody, 9 times out of 10, no, unless you're the McMichaels, but you're gonna go to jail. You know, that's how the law is actually supposed to work. You go to jail, then you go to court, and then your innocence is proved that it was self-defense shooting, and then you're free to go. But that's only if it's proven as a self-defense shooting. Now, if you pop somebody because you're shooting at figures in the night, that might not work out for you in court. So again, positively identifying your target before you shoot it. And I put the light at the #1 spot because, one, statistically, a lot of crimes happen at night. You know, usually if someone's going to break in your house or rob you or commit some kind of crime, it's at night. So being able to identify somebody at night is extremely important. And I have it ranked higher than iron sights because in the grand scheme of things, as a civilian, your shootings are going to be 25 yards and in. I don't care what Grantham does. I don't care what T-Rex Arm does. I don't care what none of your favorite YouTubers, military, running tag, whoever. As a civilian, you pop somebody at 250 yards because you got a magnified optic and you just can, because you have the capability, skill, and training, you will go to jail. It's just as simple as that. You cannot pop somebody that far. You are not military or law enforcement. So your shootings are going to be restricted to 25 yards and in, unless it's like the Boogaloo or the Civil War, some type of shit like that. 25 and in. So for that type of distance, most times you're going to be point shooting. So if you're point shooting, you don't need iron sights that bad, especially if it's down a hall and you can clearly see the guy down your hallway. You can point shoot at him and still usually get hits on target, or still scare him enough to where you can defend yourself and live. But I have the light as the #1 because if you can't see him, then you can't do that at all. No matter what type of optic you have, you're going to need some kind of light, whether it be night vision or this light. You're going to need some kind of light to use that optic at night. So that's why the light is #1. Alright, so #2 on our list is an optic. again, going back to what I said, for the flashlight, you can't shoot what you can't see. So the fact that now we can see our target with the light, you're going to want to make sure that you're putting your shots exactly on the target you want to hit. Like I said before, you can point shoot at them, but that's probably not always the smartest, especially if you live in a residential area. If you have time to aim and put your shots on target, then you're going to want to do that. You want to give yourself some kind of sighting system to put those rounds on target. It doesn't have to be this, because this is an LPO, LPVO, or LPO, however you want to say it. It's a magnified optic 1:6. But for the average civilian, especially if you're shooting 25 yards and in, a basic red dot will get you through most of the shootings you're going to do. And I feel like it's a good starting point for someone who just bought their first AR. Use a red dot and then kind of figure out what you want from there. But again, you're going to want to make sure that as a civilian, when you shoot somebody, one, it's in self-defense, and two, you didn't hit nobody else that wasn't supposed to get hit besides the people or person that you want to shoot. Because collateral damage does not work out well for civilians. The police can do that. The police can let off shots and hit everybody and nothing really happens. But you as a civilian, you can't do that. So get yourself a good optic. I did a video for you first timers who were wondering what red dot do I go with. I'll put the link in the box below. It's the my top 5 red dots that's under $200 that I feel like is good enough that you can put your life to or on, and it will be reliable, it's going to work, and it's going to last for you until you can save up and get those aim points, EOTechs, LCANs, or whatever you want up there. Now, continuing on optics, if you cannot, I would say before you get that red dot or that LPO, make sure you get yourself some kind of iron sight. I'm a big fan of having iron sights, even though with days we have red dots that last 50,000 hours or more. Things happen, shit happens. You want to have a plan B for your plan A and a plan C for your plan B. So make sure you have iron sights on your gun if you can. If you don't have too much crap up here to in the way, then I would definitely say make sure you have a pair of iron sights on your rifle. Even if you don't use them that often, it's still better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So get you a good pair of iron sights that don't cost much. You know, Magpul M-buses, well, for civilians again, would be usually fine for civilians. You guys aren't running your guns as hard as Spec Ops and the like SWAT guys. So Magpul M-bus backup sights are good to go. No, I recommend them if you're just looking for a pair of iron sights and you don't want to do a whole bunch of research. Magpul M-bus. But yes, I'm a big fan of having backup iron sights, because when this goes down, you don't have time to be like, ah, shit, let me order some iron sights, wait for it to come in, put in my gun, okay, let's get back in the fight. No, you're gonna have to go with what you got. And secondly, when you put the iron sights, don't just throw the iron sights on there. Zero the iron sights at the same distance you have your optic. If you're 50, your red dot is 0 for 25, your iron sights need to be 0 for 25 in my eyes. Alright, and lastly guys, the last thing you need, I feel like is one of the most important things you need on your AR15, come on camera, is a sling. There are many different slings out there. This is a Viking Tactic sling. I'm a big fan of the Faro Concept Slingster, and I definitely, once I get some of those, I'm gonna replace those, and that's probably gonna be the only sling I run. But the VTAC is fine. It's good for what I have right now. So when it comes to the sling, I run 2 points. 2 point is preferred. This isn't back in the day, so nobody is really running 3 point slings anymore. So it's either 2 point slings or 1 point slings. The 2 point sling is my favorite because it allows you a lot of the functions of a single point sling without getting racked in the nuts all the time. So like how I have it set up, it goes over one shoulder and it comes under my arm here. And this allows me to have my rifle put in my shoulder, get on target, put that down, get on target, and bring it down, and always have a positive retention of my firearm. Even if I drop it, and go like that, my firearm is still on me. If I get knocked down or just fall down, or if I just want to in a fight and I transition and I go to my pistol, my rifle is still attached to me in some way. And when you get a sling, make sure you have a sling that you can adjust. I don't necessarily what you call it, I guess slack. So you take the slack out of your sling. So if you need to, you got the sling, but you can tighten it up like that. So if you gotta drag somebody or you gotta lift something, your rifle is here and it's out of the way. Or you can even, you know, tuck it back here and get it really out of the way. Put it behind you if you need to. So that's a 2-point sling. 1 point allows you a lot of maneuverability, especially if you're going to transition shoulders. So that's where a single point sling comes into play. It's just when you want to drop it, it always tends to come back to the front center of your body, gets in the way, especially if you're trying to run, because then your legs are just whacking into your gun because the gun is just bobbing because it's only attached by the end plate back here. So all of this is freely moving out. So again, another reason I like the 2-point, because I'm attached at the rear and the front, so I'll always have some kind of control. This thing isn't just flopping out all willy-nilly. And I like to run my 2-point slings with a little bit of slack in there, just enough slack to where under, if I had to, I can pop and transition, come back, transition, 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 if I need to. Or if I got the time, I can swim out, and then I can still transition my firearm to shoulders if I need to. But you can't do that if you don't have a sling. Just always carrying it is not always a good option. You can, but let's say if you were in a home defense situation and one of your family members or whoever's in the house with you got shot and you had to drag them out of the line of fire. Well, now it's a little bit harder because you only have one hand, because your other hand has to hold the rifle, or you put the rifle down and leave it, which is not a good or a smart idea in a gunfight. So now you have to use one hand to drag that person instead of having your sling. You know, sling that shit up, grab them, 2 hands, get them out of the fight, get around somewhere safety. You know, cut that retention, and get back in the fight. So yeah. Cut the retention back, and you're back in the fight. And then when you don't need it no more, you can just tighten it up, and it hangs. So that is why the sling is one of the top 3 options on that list. So guys, those are my 3 opinions for the top, well, 3 opinions. Those are my top 3 opinions for accessories you should get for your AR-15 for civilians. For the military, law enforcement, it's really the same thing. It's just you guys, since you're more likely to use your firearm in a life and death situation, the things you have to pay attention to and do research on is probably a little bit more in depth than just regular civilian. But I mean, the same concept is the same. You know, you want to get a light, optic, sling. Those should be the first thing, regardless of what you do, as an accessory for your firearm. I always get tired of these videos. So much to say. So guys, I want to thank you for watching the video. Hopefully for you beginners out there, you learned a little bit something. Your firearm does not have to always look as tricked out and tactical as you think it does. Because I mean, look at mine. I just have a light, optic, sling. I don't have a whole bunch of just stuff on there to make it look cool. I don't have night vision, so there's no need for me to have an IR laser. You know, so I don't need none of that. So guys, thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, join the Patreon family, get locked in, because YouTube does not like my videos and demonetizes it, and so then I have to review every video I literally put out there. So guys, thank you for your support. Greatly appreciate it. You know, we hit 10K, we're up to 11,000 now, so the subscriber number is really going through the roof. You guys really like some of the African black issues I be talking about, so I'm do more of those. Always gonna do firearms. Always, it's firearm reviews. So guys, thanks for watching. Please be safe. LocsNLoad out.